Well, thank you all. Okay, I want to welcome you all to the first meeting of my presidency. I'm Deb Teplitz, for those of you who don't know me. And this is the Rotary Club of Motorcycling Rotarians. I know we got a name like 8 miles long, but I wanted to thank everyone for coming out tonight. And before we launch into our wonderful speaker, anybody got any happy bucks that they want to share? This is kind of something we're going back to, and unfortunately, I do not have the code to share with me, but one of the things that we worked out was getting a QR code. So if you want to donate a couple bucks to celebrate an occasion, whatever your occasion may be, we would love to be able to accept it. That was the first big part. And once again, it kind of helps our bottom line as a club. Every dollar helps, right? So this is when I say, I know Jerry said he had something, so let's go with him. Oh, you're on mute.
That's good. Old person moment. What was it? Anybody else? I'll think of it in a second.
Anybody?
Oh,
Anybody have
I know what
anything
my
good?
happy buck was. I
Okay.
ran in, I gave blood today, which was great, but I ran into a bunch of Rotarians at the same time here. And the club that originally sent me on youth exchanges here, live going well. They got about 35 members. And they meet twice a month now. They just changed that. And they just happen to be that one of those things is going to be this Friday, and I get to go to that Rotary meeting. And that's my happy buck. I'm thrilled by that.
Excellent. Anybody else? Anything? Anybody?
Yeah, I'll put in send me a link and I'll put some money in. By the way, for those that don't know me, I'm down in Tennessee. I'm an associate member. And I did just survive a month-long trip, 8,200 miles that took me all the way to Calgary and West Coast, up the West Coast, and then all the way to Calgary and then back home. Uh, where I had a great time in Calgary, by the way, with Jerry and the rest of the group that was there that I got to see. So
Excellent. Hey, Jerry, you know what? One of these meetings, I won't do it to you today, but maybe you want to recap for us Calgary, if there's anything of interest we should hear about, things like that, since you were actually there. I could not be this year.
You know what? I've made a request to Mike McGovern to be our speaker the first week of um August, and if I don't hear back from him in due time or in time, I will be glad to recap our Calgary meeting. And actually, maybe Tom could join me on that, and we would be good on that. So
Cool. Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you for being
Tom,
voluntold.
well, we were actually, and David could as well. Uh, David Satterley there, he was there as well. And so, we could all give come some of our impressions because we all had kind of a different experience and had a great time.
Oh
So,
yeah, and I would love to hear about it. I mean, obviously I saw tons of pictures and it's always good to hear from people who were actually there. So I appreciate that and we'll kind of hopefully get that in the first week of August.
now
And
that you mentioned that, I will throw in a second happy book because, normally I get involved when we do the North America ones to help us do the IFMR booth. And we don't normally get involved. Other countries generally do. But we don't have IFMR, I don't think, in Taiwan or in Dubai, which are the next two. And both the host committees approached me about putting a booth together for their conventions. And I'm already signed up for Dubai, or not Dubai, but for Taiwan, and I'm planning on going to Dubai. So I talked to them, and they both promised to put on a motorcycle ride for those of us that are there one of the days. So
oh, very
hey,
cool.
that's another happy buck. Looks like we're gonna get those of us that go are gonna get to ride Taiwan and ride Dubai, which will be fun stuff. So,
I can translate for
yep,
that then.
you can translate.
Hey,
There you go.
I can translate for that. They all speak English. That's fine. I dropped a QR code for the Venmo as well as the name in the chat. Let me know if that works for you guys. We just got this set up. Rory did it for us. I don't know that we've tried to use the QR
We
code
did
yet.
use it last time and it
Did we
worked
use
just
it?
fine.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We
So
So,
tested it.
that should be the right one. Let's see if I can.
and
I
I
don't,
will.
yeah, nothing has come up yet.
My
In the
phone was
chat.
way down on
Yeah,
charge,
yeah.
so I will do it at the end. I don't see your chat.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying to her. Hopefully we will get this. And actually, Amanda, if you've even got it on a screen, if you can share that way, maybe it
I
will tie
can.
it.
How about that? I'll just share my screen right now. I got it. I
Okay,
got it
thank
up
you.
right over here. You guys can see
Yeah,
all the stuff.
this was one of the big things Amanda and I actually worked on that we thought was kind of important. Um, because we know what happens in other clubs, and sometimes it's a great way for us to celebrate our little things. I like celebrating the little things when they come about.
And if anybody doesn't understand Venmo, I can help you with that over time, at another time. Be glad to do that.
Well, I got a new phone, so everything for me is now a trick of, oh great, I got to go log back into that. So
I'm going to throw in one more happy buck, okay?
yes, please.
I'm absolutely thrilled David Bluford is here tonight. David was one that was going to do better on Tuesday nights, and David here 2 years ago or a year ago uh, switched from being an associate member to a regular member of our club, and he stepped forward to be the president behind Amanda. So I'm all to you, David. Thrilled.
Well, I'm glad to be able to make it on Tuesday night, a little bit easier than Wednesday night for me. And yeah, and so yeah, I switched I guess full time about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Well, thank you. All righty.
Excellent. Well, it's great to have you back. I'm so glad. And um I just, want to take a moment to, thank everyone for being part of this. We're trying some new things out. We had a lot of conversations. Amanda and I are your next, current president and next president, and we decided that we were going to treat this more as kind of a co-presidency and work together, because we think, 2 consistent years would be really great for us. And now knowing David is out there as well, kind of working with David as well to make sure that we're all kind of on a consistent level and trying to keep things moving and everything else. And my fun, obviously, the first thing I had to approach was our budget. We won't get into that today, but obviously you've probably seen some things that they're changing. I welcome anybody to contact me with any questions, any comments, please. This is what I'm here for, and hopefully trying to make this a better place ultimately. So anybody have anything else they want to chat about, or are we all good to move forward? Okay. Okie dokie. Well, Jerry, I will hand this off to you to make the introduction.
Well, normally, an assistant governor is here to introduce our district governor. But the process is just getting started going this year. And I just learned tonight and absolutely thrilled that we are the very first club that Wendy gets to address in this year for her governor visit. I've known Wendy for a few years now, just a couple actually, and I've been impressed. Okay, there's probably things that she wants her assistant governors to say about her, and I'm sorry, I don't know what those things are, Wendy, but I'm going to say I've had the very wonderful privilege of being her district trainer here over this last year, and helping to be behind the scenes and in the things she's planned for the year. Uh, she is an absolute delight. I know she's had to deal with certain politic things that happen. We're a people organization, but I can tell you her heart's dedicated to Rotarians. She's dedicated to growing our organization and make it, and she's here to serve, and that's a real pleasure all the way around. So um Wendy is a member of assistant governor, did very well with the clubs when she was an assistant governor, and she's a member of the oh man, Anchor Bay Rotary Club. I'm gonna have to let her tell you how long she's been in Rotary and some of the cool things. And she is in line with our next three governors coming up. They've been working together. They've got some things kind of like we are in our club, focused on where we're going, and they're all dedicated to improving this district and growing our membership as well. So with that, Wendy, it is my pleasure to introduce to you all Wendy Jones, our district governor.
Thanks, Jerry. So yes, you are my first club visit, and I just want to thank you for welcoming me here tonight. A little bit about me. I have been in Rotary for not even 8 years, and I want to stress not quite 8 years, because you don't have to be in Rotary forever in order to step up into a leadership role. And that is one thing that I really want to focus on this year, is bringing in members that have not served in a leadership role, because I think that newer leaders stepping up and being a part of more than just their club is what helps us grow. It engages the club they come from, I believe. So that is part of the message this year. I think a lot of you know, our international president Mario stepped down, but his message is still very loud and clear. And for me, it is unity, and that is uniting. And I think that is what we are about. And our membership growth depends on our unity together. And when I say that, we're focusing, and I want to thank Jerry, because Jerry is starting a new vision program within our district that I think is going to really help that. But I want to keep, I do believe that membership growth is not just a part of what we are. It's not a number. It's not just a name on the list. It's bringing people in who share our heart for service and want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And that's what we do here in Rotary. And when we show up to meetings and service project and district events, we build stronger connections. And that's where we grow. We have a lot of great events coming this year. We have our Rotary kickoff at Jimmy John's. I focus a lot on family. I am very much a family person. In fact, I turned my computer on early tonight because I had a backyard full of grandkids, and my son and daughter both stopped by with the kids. And so I wanted to be sure that I was ready to plug in here when the time came. But so our events this year are family focused, family and friends focused. I believe that without the support of our family and friends, we wouldn't be here, able to do what we do. I know it is the support from my family and friends that I am in a position where I am right now. So I do hope that you engage in not just your club events, but come outside and understanding that you are a e-group. So, but I have to say that I've met Amanda a couple times, and Deb, and I do believe David, we met somewhere. Where did we meet? You're on mute.
Zone. We met at Zone.
Zone, yes, yes. So I am really, being that you're an e-club, but yet I've met, it looks like not quite half of you, but you're very engaged, and that's a good thing. And it shows that not just your normal meet on Tuesday for lunch club, but you're meeting like virtually, but yet you're very obviously a very strong club. So with that, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you having me here. Most importantly, I'd really like to, anything that you can attend. I know it's not easy, but I just wanted to say thank you and hope to see you more often. And I will be popping in, because Jerry did say, and Deb, if you would include me on your weekly emails and your club invitations, that when you see me pop in, I'm not a guest, I'm a member of your club. And I'm just here. I'm just here to observe. I'm not here for anything else, but I'm here to answer questions and be a part of. So that's what I have to say. Any questions?
I just wanted to say thanks, Wendy. I know that you've been kind of instrumental in allowing us opportunities to sign in remotely and to join things like the district training that we had at Deb and Jerry and I had to do for grants training and stuff. And I know it's weird, right? It's weird that we have to call in, and maybe I'm on a rugby pitch when I do it. But we definitely appreciate you guys making ways for us to stay involved that don't
Absolutely.
involve us coming up there.
Yep.
And I'm happy to take you motorcycle riding when you're ready.
Hey, I'm ready. And you
Let's
said
go.
I'm not a but I am a motorcyclist years ago, and I'm gonna go way back, way back, that I did have a Sportster many, many, many years ago. I have not been on a bike in a long time.
So that's
But
where I started too. I
years
started on a
ago,
Sportster too.
I was on a bike all the time. So it's nothing new to me. I love biking. So yeah.
Wendy, which seat were you in?
Both.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Wendy, I sold my bike when I joined the army. So it was like 19, right? I sold my bike and I didn't get back into it
Okay.
until I was voted in as president of this club the first time. And that's when I figured I should probably start riding again. So,
I
there's
think the
a
last time
25
I
year
rode,
gap there.
I think I was not quite 30. So it's been a few years, just a couple years.
We'll
It's quite like
we'll
riding
work
a
on
bike.
changing that, Wendy.
It's been a couple years, but I enjoyed it. I loved it. There was a group of us that would go every weekend, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. So
Right, we have a new mission. We have we have 1 year, friends. We have one Rotary year to get Wendy back on a bike.
okay.
Well,
She
I
doesn't
never
sound
say
like she's gonna
no.
fight. She's not gonna fight this. So it sounds like it's gonna be kind of easy.
No. Hey,
Wendy,
you know what? I went to Ryla this year, and I actually got up on one of those. What do they?
The zip lines,
high
I
ropes,
no,
or the high ropes.
high
I
ropes.
wrote. Yeah, yeah. When you're encouraging others to do it, you do it, right? So I
Yeah,
did.
I got up
Hey,
there too.
I'm always game. I'm always game. Yeah,
Hey, you got
I,
to lead from the front. That's the
that's
important thing.
right.
You got to lead from the
That's right.
front. So,
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
yeah,
just I was going to ask you to share a couple events. Even though I'm the
yeah.
only one that physically lives in our district, Amanda gets back here 3, 4 times a year, and actually Deb gets in this area a couple times a year as well. And every now and then, like Tom, or not Tom, but yeah, just drifted through here, and Tom Kale that is, and Tom Dines once a year comes through this area. So there's the case. So I'd love you to
Mhm.
share your events coming up,
Sure.
starting with the one a week from this Saturday.
Sure. So a week from Saturday, we have our Rotary Year kickoff, and that is at Jimmy John's Field. It's a ball game, family oriented. Bring the kids. The kids will run the bases. They all get a game ball. We're going to have dinner, watch a baseball game, and just have a good fellowship night with the Rotarians. At all the events, we will be doing a purple pinky table to support our polio. In fact, I have actually at 8 o'clock tonight, I have a Zoom with our committee for Pause for Polio. And that is a dog day event. If you know anything about me, my true companion and best friend is my German Shepherd, Mila. And so she's my world. She'll be out there that day, but it's going to be a fun day. Fundraiser for polio. There will be
What day is
probably
that?
that is September 27th. That is our polio fundraiser. We do have our foundation dinner, which is November 13th, and that is a celebration of our foundation. as we all know, our projects, our community projects, our global projects, those are partially funded, not just from our fundraising, but our foundation. And so it is a night to celebrate and have a good time. So I hope that we will have as many with us as can be. We will be having it is a reverse raffle night, and that will be supporting our youth program and the district. And that is a dinner night. I don't know if any of you are familiar with a reverse raffle. It's a great raiser. We sell 200 tickets at $100 a piece, plus whatever the venue is going to charge for a dinner. So if the dinner is going to cost $35, then the ticket's going to cost $135. 200 tickets sold. The tickets are pulled. As they're pulled and your number's pulled, you lose. The very last 10 go up, and they can decide if they split or keep going. So the prize is $10,000. The winner takes 10,000. The district takes 10,000. There'll be a 50-50 as well. It's a fun night. I recently did one for my church, and I helped with another nonprofit in the area. But it's a great way to raise money. You sell 200 tickets. It sounds like it's really easy. It's not, I'm going to be honest. But if it's one of those fundraisers, you have to get going on it early. You can't just decide you're going to do it in 2 months from now. It is something that you work at, and with a club of 15, you divide those 200 tickets and make it and ask that everyone commit to those. It is a great fundraiser, but it's a lot of fun. Another thing you can do, because there's couples, so you wouldn't want each couple to do one ticket or a ticket a piece. So what you can do is you can have a +1 ticket. So whatever the cost of a dinner is, $35, and you sell a +1. But it is a fun night. And I know when I just did one for the church, everyone had such a good time. It's a quick evening. Basically, it's going on while you're doing dinner. I did a $5 50-50 and a $10 50-50. So it's really easy when you're doing your raffle license. And so if you're doing it as a club, think of it as possibly you're getting $10,000 at least, and that's not even including your 50-50s. And then I did a huge booze wagon, which that in itself brought in $1,000. So that is, I believe, our presidents have the dates on those on our sheet, and it is on our district calendar. So if you're not familiar with the district calendar, it would be a great time to get to know that calendar, because you can log into a lot of the events through there's membership meeting, there's all kinds of meetings throughout the district, and if you click on it, you can be a part of it, and I would really encourage that. It also talks about the different events going on in the Rotary clubs, their fundraisers, their events. I would highly encourage just always checking out that district calendar and seeing what's going on for the month, as well as our Facebook page. And then
I dropped the link to the district calendar in the chat, so everybody should be able to grab it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And those will have the dates. And then we have an awesome district conference. That is going to be so much fun. I am actually meeting Sparky in Canada. I think it's next week. I have to look next week, and then we're having a committee meeting. But check out the Retro Suites Hotel in Chatham. We're gonna shut down that hotel, and then I'm sure we'll need some rooms at another local. But it's a lot of fun. We're coming up with some great venues, and it's gonna be a good time. So I hope that if that is May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So if you mark your calendars, and we're making these events very affordable. That's a big thing. So check those out, and the registration we're hoping is going to be up for that soon as well. And there will be a slight break for those that register right away. So keep an eye on those district events. I know you all are a ways away, but if there's any chance that you can make those, it would be a lot of fun. A lot of fun to see you there.
Especially the one in May. That's perfect time to go riding in Ontario. I don't know about you guys.
Right? Get your passports
You know
ready
what,
and
guys?
make sure.
You know what, guys? If we wanted as a club to try to attend the district conference, I'd be glad to put a ride together for us on the day before or after or something like that. That might be kind of fun to do. Make it a couple day event.
Yeah, go right up in the lakes, go right up in the Finger Lake or the lakes up there.
Yeah, I mean, where it's gonna be, I know the whole area and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Gonna be a lot of fun.
we have a member who's
Let's
up
talk.
there, Jerry, right?
What's that?
We have a member who's up there.
Chatham?
No, north of Chatham. He lives up in the area where everybody has their cabins.
Oh, we got lots of good contacts up there. So and and you can always come in and do Hell, Michigan before you start. So
There you go. There you go.
very cool.
All right.
Does anyone have any questions? Anything burning moment you want to ask Wendy about, as long as she's here tonight? You're all being way too quiet.
Wendy, what kind of strategic initiatives do we have as a district to increase membership this year?
So that is a good question, Amanda. Well, Jerry's going to talk to you, I'm sure, within very shortly with his vision program. Membership, we had a meeting, we have another meeting coming up. We have a membership summit that is on the calendar. So just stay tuned to those, and we look forward to sharing that as well.
Hey, Wendy, when you guys have your meeting on that summit, ask them or try and figure out how we can, we want as many members as possible to be there, and I would really love this club is to have the opportunity to
Absolutely.
attend, virtually.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then
So-
Wendy and I, or no, Wendy, you're Wendy. Deb and I had talked too about, if we can be, if our club or any of the e-clubs could be a bit of a soft landing club for someone who's, I know there are some people up in Michigan who snowbird down south in the winter, and there might be people who are moving out of state, or there may be exchange students who are going off to college, rebound exchange students. So if we can be that soft landing club, we meet every Tuesday, it's easy format, so that's something that we have talked about. We don't want to steal anybody, right? But if we can be a place where people can come in and still be involved without just stepping away completely, that's one of the things that we have talked about.
Particularly like when they're in that in-between club situation,
Right.
where some people go through that and we end up losing people during that process. And we've got a good situation here. I share with you that Wendy is developing a speakers bureau for the district, and mostly that's PDGs and such, but she's also going to include our recordings that we have because we've got some great contacts and we got some great speakers coming up again. So we're going to become one of her assets.
Yeah.
Actually, that's
The one,
oh, go on, please, Wendy, go on.
Jerry and I talked just before Pels. Actually, it was right after I came home from International Assembly, and we talk about everybody says, "Well, what's your elevator speech?" And I was like, I don't have an elevator speech. I just talk about Rotary. I talk about my passion. I talk about what I enjoy about Rotary, and um. And I find that when you talk about it, that's how we get members. And I encourage people to, when you're asking somebody about Rotary, record it. Ask them, say, what what brings you to Rotary? What does your heart say about Rotary? And if you can capture that and then you share that, because those are the moments that we want to share on our local, on our webpage, on our social media pages. That's what I believe captures members. And I tell the story when I brought a friend to an event and she was listening to what was going on. And it was just a nothing. It was this person was talking about their passion. It was just a matter of fact, this is what we're doing. And I'm watching her and she's just so intensely paying attention and she's nodding like, and that's what brought her to Rotary. She is now a member of one of our Clarkston clubs and a very engaged member. In fact, she's on the meeting tonight on the polio committee fundraiser, just a very engaged, and that is what brought her. And so I just encourage everyone to don't have an elevator speech so much, but talk about your passion and your love for Rotary and the projects you're doing, where you're going, what your vision is, and that's where you're going to get your members. So.
Oh
Okay,
my
somebody
goodness.
tell.
They're all so quiet.
I know.
You're killing me tonight, people. You're killing me. Actually, one of the things that is, as long as we touched on speakers for just a second there, you know, we talked about once again when Jerry and Amanda and I were going back and forth about things, you know, we were kind of like, well, you know, we're going to try, obviously we changed up, we're back to 4 meetings a month. One of those meetings, I believe it's going to be the second meeting of the month, is really going to be kind of like an assembly meeting, and that is where we will discuss our Rotary Club board of directors and, you know, and all that business. So club business will really happen on that second meeting. Everyone is invited to attend. I need to make sure people realize that, because I think you want to know what's going on. That's a great time to come and hear, and you know, we'd be open to hear your opinions as well. But when it comes to our speakers, we're looking at one that's going to be Rotary focused and one that may be motorcycling or other subject focused. If you come across someone in your daily life at a regular meeting, please, and if you think it would be of interest to us, please pass it on to Jerry and I. We would be really happy just to keep a really robust program going forward, and keep our speakers, you know, want to keep everyone engaged. And I admit, you know, there are times where it's like, you know, okay, this person's going to talk about what? But we have a lot of great stuff. We have a lot of great opportunities, and there are times we can give someone an audience that they would not normally get. So cool.
Mhm.
Well, we could sit here and we could stare at each other. Jerry, is there anything else we should be touching on tonight?
I just wanted to let you guys know, watch the invite emails for our meetings. I put in what's coming up, and we've got, you know, the request out to Mike McGovern, and he had promised me at the last time we caught up there in Calgary that he'd be thrilled to be our speaker, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of guests if that happens. And then and I know Chris Jones and I have a personal relationship both with Stephanie Urchek, our recent new immediate past international president, and we're going to expect to hear something from her sometime in the next few months as well. So, you know, we're like she said, our plans this year is to have one dynamic Rotary person a month, and I'm sure we'll have some district and other club guests at that certain time, and then one other speaker. And I'm glad you said it that way because it's not always going to be motorcyclist. Or we have our second meeting in August right now is he is actually a motorcyclist and he normally writes for Cycle World, but he just published a book about flying. So he's
Oh,
going to be our speaker with flying, a very unique thing. So we've got I think we're gonna have some amazing speakers this year, and in that we'll probably have a lot of guests.
And once again, if there's any commentary, anything you want to chat about, suggestions, listen, we're open to it. This
Yeah.
is our club. So it's not just me, Jerry, Amanda, just making random decisions. We really do need your input. And I cannot ask enough times that you come to us, if it's something you like, if it's something you don't like, if there's, maybe you have a project you want to, talk about. I am more than happy to give you that floor to talk about things that are going on. I'm involved in a lot of cool stuff. Anybody who probably follows me on Facebook gets to hear way too much about it. Like the fact I just came back from the Hokahay Rendezvous, so if you can imagine, I was there with about 500 long distance riders and a lot of guys who get out there and go and are very well known. My husband is going to ride Hokahay in 2026, which, just to fill in people who don't know, that is a 10,000 mile endurance motorcycle
Wow.
challenge. No GPS, all map, basically written directions, which that's a whole thing, because boy oh boy are we used to visual cues when it comes to maps. But it was a really interesting time to be there. And I may actually invite some people to speak from that, because there's a woman out of Oklahoma who raised $135,000 for her local charity, which was feeding our children. And Terry Collier is a friend who I've known for years. I knew her long before she did this, but she's got fascinating stories, and I'm looking forward to bringing people like that in. Just there are a lot of people who are raising money for a lot of interesting causes, and I think it's, the more we can share, the better we are.
I will say that when I got to Calgary, it was Jerry had a wonderful booth set up, by the way. And he had all the placards for different rides, and so I think it's according to his placard, it's official. We're going to have a bourbon trail ride in the spring. I guess I'm going to have to dust off those plans and finally go to Bardstown and put that together. But Jerry, I think that's important to note, that these rides we're trying to put together as in the fellowship side, because those are opportunities to gather in person as members. And every time we do that, we seem to have a really, really good time.
I agree. Tom and I hung out in North Carolina the first time we met. And then did you go on the second ride too, down in Tennessee?
Yeah, I was there in Tennessee, and it was thanks to you that I knew to go to a truck stop and buy a raincoat.
Yes, I'm glad that I could be
$25 I spent for this past trip ever.
I'm telling you what, man, that raincoat saved my life. Not gonna lie. And it's the most obnoxious high vis day glow yellow. Well, I'm glad that I could be your literal beacon, Tom.
I think we have a lot of great stories about a lot of great rides, and I could tell a bunch even about this trip out to Bardstown. So I went from Houston to Bardstown, and it was, yeah. I admit, I have to tell you, we got on to oh, what is that? The blue what? Blue what, guys?
Blue
Blue
Ridge
Ridge
Parkway.
Parkway.
Yeah, Blue Ridge Parkway. And that was the longest 20 miles of my life, because we had left that morning from West Memphis. We had gone up through Paducah, and that last 20 miles, I'm like, where could this place be? Where? And yeah, we had a great time and got to see a lot of friends, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And even driving some of those back roads, it's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, there was one my husband took us down that I'm like, if it was the quintessential Kentucky back road with the hills, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that will be a great
Well,
trip.
anyone that's experienced one of my rides knows I like the twisties. And so we will have some twisties. The interesting thing is right now, preliminarily for that ride, the idea is we'd ride hard in the morning, go to a distillery that has a restaurant for lunch. And then that location would actually be pretty close back to Bardstown. So people could have the choice. They could stay and take the tour and do the tastings and still, just to have a 30-mile ride or so back to Bardstown. Or those that don't, we can continue on and ride some more twisties in the afternoon. And then everybody gather at night at another distillery in Bardstown that had a restaurant. There'd be a lot of distilleries.
Well,
Hey, Tom, this is Tom Dines. I don't know
Yeah,
if
Tom.
Tom Kale remembers me, but
Yeah, Tom, I do. How are things?
well, things are just dandy, but I love that IFMR ride we did many, many years ago, Tail of the Dragon. And I think you're from Marysville vicinity, unless I'm mistaken.
That was the Townsend ride that we did,
Yeah.
Townsend, Tennessee, and Townsend may be back on our radar mainly because they've added a distillery there. Townsend's actually kind of blown up a little bit, and it's a hot spot now.
Wendy, this is the Rotary Club of Motorcycling and Drinking Rotarians as well.
But not hiking. Remember that, Jerry, but not hiking.
We got
Not
burned
on
on that one.
purpose. Not on purpose.
You got the
Actually,
man
after
with
the
the
waterfall
pole and a
ride.
circle around it and a line through it.
Yeah.
We-
Yeah.
I actually
We've
just want to
drifted
take a
little from
second
Wendy's.
and thank Wendy, because I know Wendy has another meeting to get to. And I want to thank Wendy for coming out tonight. Wendy, please, anytime, to give me a call. I need to come and plot and come and visit you. And but I thank you again for coming out tonight. And
Thank you for having me. I'm always a phone call away, an email away, a text away. And I told you and Amanda, there's always a place for you here at my home when you come to Michigan. I have plenty of room. I do have a big German Shepherd that will
love you.
eyeball you up for a minute, but she's friendly.
I will tell you that German Shepherd will eyeball and then lick you forever. He's a sweetheart.
I'll bring my little
she's a
Havanese
sweetheart.
and they'll be big friends.
There you go. So I've always got a place, lots of room here in Michigan. You're always welcome.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Wendy, when your AGs tell you about a meeting unique of a speaker, don't forget to tell us because we can get them on board here real easy. So
Yes, I will. I will. So thank you for having me. I am going to log off so I can get ready for my 8 o'clock meeting. I look forward to getting your invites and just popping in and visiting with you. So
thank you.
Thanks,
very
and
much.
if you can come on the 19th, great. If not, then we'll see you at a future event.
I actually am going to be home on the 19th, so I might try to come by. My niece's bridal shower is that morning, so.
Oh, very good. Very good. Now, is anyone going to zone training?
Not yet.
I am, but not
Oh,
in
zone
your
is-
zone.
Zone's in Winnipeg this year.
Yes.
Our
Next
zone's
year's
in
the one we
Columbus,
wanna go
Ohio,
to.
so I'll be in Columbus for our zone 30-31.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
28
well-
32 is Cancun next year after this. So
I heard that and I won't be there. So this will be my last year for zone.
yeah, that's mine too, unless I get tapped on the shoulder somehow.
Yeah. No, this will be my last year. So, but anyways, thank you all for having me and I will see you soon.
Thanks, Wendy.
Good night, Wendy.
Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Wendy.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. Good night.
Too
All
cool.
right.
We were the first visit. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, are we still recording?
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. I was gonna tell you, I sent Wendy a note. I said, I think it's because she and I are trauma bonded after Ryla.
Well, I tell you, she is really. I liked her laid back. I'm going to sit and talk with you guys, not talk at you guys, and I love it. I really do.
Well, I want to keep this nature. Because we're all so spread apart, we have to connect differently. And yeah, I mean, there's some things that, yes, I want to do a little bit differently going forward. And but they're not huge changes. I'm hoping there are changes that people go, oh, wow, yeah, okay, this is cool. And, we can keep moving forward with it. And I mean, as silly as it seemed, that whole Happy Bucks thing that was one that kind of, we were like, there's got to be a quick way to do this. And, it's made us very happy to finally have a Venmo that we can actually use and transfer some money, and it's all good. It's all good stuff, right?
Very
Yeah, it
good.
was really nice that Rory figured out that Venmo thing for us. So that's
Yeah,
good.
it wasn't for lack of effort, man. Oh man, they put us through the ringer to get that thing in place.
Exactly.
Well, now let's use it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as long as I have, the nine, there are 9 of us here, which wow. Um, we're supposed to be shifting these meetings on Tuesdays. We're actually going to go earlier. That was something that came up in passing. So is that good, bad, indifferent? So what do y'all, for me, it means the meeting will start at 5 o'clock because I'm on Central Time.
I
So
I think we should take this month and have that discussion for a few minutes at the end of each meeting and get a good feeling on that, because
yeah,
our
before we
survey
make
didn't
any,
really get a lot of response back out with a lot of members. So just
right.
Because
what your
Tom,
thoughts are,
yeah,
what you guys all think.
Tom's half of the year in Mountain Time, right, Tom? Dines. And then Robert, are you Central or are you Eastern?
I've got to
Oh, you're by
unmute.
me. Robert's
Now
by
I'm
me.
unmuted. I'm typically 8 months out of the year, Marco Island, and the other 4 months where I presently am, Breckenridge, Colorado.
Yeah.
And here it is, it's only 5:51.
51. Yep. Okay. Then
So we're
But
gonna,
Robert's by me. I realized that right after I said it. I know what time. I know what time zone you're in.
I will tell you all, I do like this Tuesday evening meeting better because on Wednesday nights I had 2 other meetings at the same time as Rotary. That was
yeah,
tough to balance 3 of them.
no, we were glad once again, we're trying to work on engagement and trying to get, we want people to come to the meetings, at least once a month. I really, really, really would like to see people at least once a month making an effort to be here. To, this is a big commit. It's a big commitment for me. And I,
10-4.
please
Well,
come.
I mean, for what it's worth, and I'm one of the world's worst about not being on. But I it's a real challenge when we're spreading across 4 time zones and trying to get inclusivity going. So as a guy in the Eastern time zone, I'd love to see our friends on the West Coast participating, and so I'm not opposed to this time slot. I think, I mean, the odds are better for me to be able to make the meeting at 7 on a weeknight than on the Eastern time than they are to go earlier. And certainly if we went earlier, we're not gonna get the West Coasters.
Yeah, that was part of the issue before, right? Because
Right.
we had
We had a couple in
we had
LA.
Yeah,
three people in California, right? So that was always a bit of a trouble. Scott Nelson, he was like, look, he was calling in between meetings as he was going from account to account, right? So it makes
But
it
a
tough.
lot of times, I think 4 o'clock on the Pacific Coast, that's kind of workable for some people. I mean, I think they're kind of used to that dealing. If they deal anyway with the East Coast, they're used to dealing with things like that. So maybe 4 o'clock is okay with them, as opposed to being 8 o'clock on the East Coast starting time.
Oh
But
God, yeah.
8 to 9 would be tough
what
on the East Coast.
they're currently, let's see, they're 3 hours different than Eastern time zone, right? So
Right. So they're
so
going
the
on
7
5
o'clock
o'clock.
meeting is 4 o'clock for them. So yeah, I'd be concerned myself about bumping earlier. I
Yeah.
think I was more interested in bumping a half hour later, um, but
I-
anyway,
We'll
Well,
take that under advisement,
and if a
definitely.
half hour
I
gets
think we
us
should
more
talk this
people,
through each time a little
yeah.
bit for about a month.
Yeah, if a half hour gets us more people, I'm with Tom. Like if it gets us more people, like half hour, my boss loves it when we have Rotary meetings at 7 or 7:30 because I just work until 7 or 7:30. So it's no big deal. But for me, that's that's a half an hour that I might actually spend on the road to get home. So I truly don't mind. So
So yeah, if you want to do 7:30 as an East Coaster, I'm good with that. I'm going to try to make a better effort, even though I'm just an associate.
there's no
But
such thing as just an associate, Tom
Oh yeah,
Kale.
there is.
No, there's not.
It's important. You know, it's important. Yeah, I won't bore you with my thoughts on that, but it's important, and I'm glad you're here. I am glad you're here. And had I known you were where you were in Tennessee, I'd be like, hey.
I'd like to hear from Robert and David and Steve as well here tonight before we get off
Yes,
about
please.
that.
Yeah, my time 7 works better for me, or 7:30. I don't get home till about 6:30 on Tuesday nights, and so it'd be hard for me to make an earlier meeting. And Tuesday is a better day than the rest of the week for right now. Now things may change in the coming months from that perspective, but I would rather keep it at 7 or move it to 7:30. And yeah, I'm up here. I don't know where you're at exactly, Tom. I'm Tom Kale in Tennessee. I mean, we're both in Tennessee.
I'm in
Only
Chattanooga.
You're in Chattanooga. Okay, well, I'm up in the Gatlinburg area, Jefferson City, right north of Knoxville, and so I'm down that way. And so it, Eastern time zone works and best for me at the 7 or 7:30 time.
Are you in my district? Jefferson City, you in 6780?
Well, I used to
Well,
be.
Okay.
I
he's in
used to
our
be. Yeah,
district.
I was in Farragut.
Right.
I was a member there for a long time and president of that club several years ago. And so yeah, in 6780.
Club that imploded.
Sort of. It kind of bounced back. It was weird because they called me back last year after I had made the decision to no longer be a part of that club. When they did kind of go through their transition, their president and president-elect resigned, and they were trying to figure out what to do. And they called on me because I was the immediate past president, and they called on me to come in and step in for the last month and sort of pull it back together to hold them. And they've actually done pretty well this year. They just went through a transition year, and they've done better than what most people thought they would.
Yeah, Jim Roxlow did a great job, I think, of
Yes,
helping to fix some of that.
he did. We brought
For
him
those
in
that don't know,
about a year
Jim
ago to work
Jim
on
is at one point was one of 6 Rotary peace activators in the entire world.
that.
He's in my club, and he's the guy in our district that goes around and talks about peace and conflict resolution, and he's got a great talk he does about toxic polarization. That's you learn something every time he talks about it. But anyway, so we're just down the road from each
Yeah,
other.
we're just down the road. He'd be a good speaker for us sometime too, even on this.
Yeah, he'd be willing to do it.
There you go, gentlemen. You got a job now.
All right, I'll see him. If he's back from Italy, I'll see him in the morning, or I'll see him Friday morning. So
I think Robert was getting ready to say something to us too.
I'm going to try to be a little bit more current, and I think Tuesday will be a little better for me.
Excellent. That's great. I'm glad to hear it.
Thoughts on the
Tuesday is
time,
better
Robert?
for me also.
Very cool.
No, I really appreciate y'all, especially it's my first meeting. And, for most of you who know me, know this is, I've stepped out, with doing this. This is all new to me. And, I've got great leaders who are obviously helping me in the background, but, I want to make this a good environment and I want to see us kind of grow as a club. So this is what we got to do, people.
I love your enthusiasm, Deb. I really do. It gives something back to me. Really does.
Well, I would come to Iowa this weekend and buy stuff, and my husband would probably shoot me and come home with a whole load of stuff, but I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that.
hey, Jerry, how many I know we had a couple. How many did we have sign up on as club members?
IFMR gained 32 members, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
And we've got either 2 or 3 pending people. Well, we got 3 because Jim Dodmead is coming back into the club. And then we've got to discuss it as a board, but no, nevertheless, I'm going to propose that. And we've got, I think, 2 others that are considering. One's going to come in as a new member completely, young man that's 19 years old at Arizona State University. And then we've got so we still got to go through that proposal process, of course. And then I think there was one other person that wanted to do the associate thing. So we've got some things that came out of it for our club too. I
We
put
should
one
give
flyer up for
a
that.
19-year-old plaque award to the 19-year-old.
Jerry,
That's
I was
magnificent.
His
talking.
dad is actually starting a brand new club in the Chicago area at the same time. So
Oh, wow.
So I was talking to my optometrist yesterday, and he's got a friend in Oregon that a retired school teacher that had got in the writing thing. She's ridden all over the world. Literally shipped her bike. I mean, shipped her bike to Australia and rode all around Australia.
a great way to bring in members is to invite them on those situations
Yeah.
as a speaker. So if you would figure out
I'm
how
gonna
to
work
reach
that.
out to her, let us know. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, and I mentioned to him, I said she needs to be in Rotary if she's doing this kind of traveling. She needs to be in Rotary because it's a safety network also for those of us that ride. I mean, we know it's a safety network. And so I'm working that angle. Potential new
Awesome.
member. So,
Very good.
but I'll try to get her lined up for a speaker. That would be kind of neat to hear about those
Yeah.
kind of adventures where you're shipping your bike. I mean, we've all done some of that, but I've never never thought to ship my bike to New Zealand. I just rented a bike or Australia. So
That's commitment.
That's
real
because
commitment.
that's because you're not 5'2", Tom.
you got a point.
I always think
And-
about shipping my bike.
Trust me, after the 2 times that I rented were both an RS and a GS.
Yeah, I could not do
And
it.
even I at 6'1" needed a shorter bike.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. I promised my family I got to cut off, and so
Nope. I think we're good
All right.
to end. Somebody want to do the 4-way test for me real quick? Oh, come on. Give me a
did
volunteer.
Steve get his chance to respond for us?
I don't think I responded. I think I'm muted and don't know how to get out.
Get
got
him
you.
down. We
There
You're
you are.
speaking. We hear you.
Did you
Oh.
want to say something, Steve?
Anyway, yeah, Tuesdays is fine with me regardless of the time. 6,
Awesome.
7, 7:30, all good. Tuesday's better than Wednesday.
Very cool.
All right. Do I have somebody for the 4-way test? Or you know what? I'll do it. How about that? I found my
Okay.
cheat sheet. That's all I have to tell you all. Okay. But I don't know why I lose my mind with this thing. Of the things we think, say, or do,
Is it the
truth?
The truth.
Is it
Is
fair
it fair to
all
all
concerned?
concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And number 5.
Will it be fun?
And tonight was fun, guys. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate
Thank you
y'all.
all. Have a good
All
week.
right.
I'll see you next week.
Have a good
Good night,
one.
all.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.